obviously. Part of the reason we started this was to start having conversations. In the backstory, I went through what I would call the dark night of the soul 2 years ago. And I went through my entire circle of friends, and they couldn't wrap their heads that who they thought I was, or whatever pedestal they put me on, or whatever the story was that they had about me, they couldn't really wrap my head around. Just, Teri, it's you. You're a magic manifester. Just suck it up, buttercup. You got this. And I was like, I felt so alone. And so I was like, hello. And so I ended up going and finding complete strangers to cry and bawl and fetal position. Just kidding. That was only happened twice. But I found these incredible people, and I was like, why are we not having these conversations? And so that is why I started this. It's evolved, and now I seriously understand, okay, here we are. This is what it's about. What if the attachments that we've created are quietly running the show, steering our choices, our energy, and even our success? Welcome to Talking with Teri TV. I am your host, Teri Cardula. Thank you for joining the Entrepreneurial Girlfriend Hour, along with our live in-studio audience. We are Colorado's first transformational talk show where content gets created for you, by you, so that we can activate, elevate, and transform. If you're new to me, I was a therapist for 28 years, started combining it with energy psychology and applying quantum physics. And so I love being able to mix those pieces together to help us elevate, transform, and really connect with our inner self to tap into and turn on that infinite knowing, that infinite wisdom within ourselves. So today we're talking all about attachments. And the funny thing about this, I was just telling people offline that last night I was having these big shifts and these big awarenesses, and I'm like, light bulb. Okay, and I don't know about y'all, but we've been on this journey, right, for a really long time. And then you have this light bulb that you think you should have probably had 20 years ago, and you're like, why am I just having this light bulb for the very first time? Anywho, I'm going to be sharing some of those light bulb moments with y'all, and you're going to be like, wow, okay, here we are. One of them being, so years ago, I was writing articles for the Colorado Biz magazine, and I don't know why that opportunity fell in my lap, and it just did, and I'm like, I'm not even a writer. Some of the things that have fallen in my lap, I'm like, but I'm not a writer. I have a book, I'm not an author, just the weirdest things. I'm like, okay, I'll just go through it, right? Years later, I realized the reason that opportunity came along was for me to document the process. And then last night, I was sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is also documenting the process. Yeah. And it's helping people open themselves up, tap back in, tune back into their infinite knowing, their infinite wisdom. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here it is, the light bulb, right? Here it is. Anyhow, as we are talking about attachments, about the attachments that we have to everything and everyone, we think about attachments, I think initially about stuff, right? The stuff that we have in our property, the clothing, the just whatever, right? The stuff that we collect over time, the physical stuff. But the attachments can also be to people, it can be to relationships, it can be to staff. I remember, goodness, years ago when I had my first staff member leave, I was like, wait, what? What? And it was so disruptive, right? And then, okay, Teri, people are going to come, you're going to help them, they're going to leave. Clients, right? Outcomes, results, beliefs, stories, the situations, the circumstances, energetically, the attachments that we have to things energetically even, and even to our ego. Okay. And so I want to share a little story that came up because this attachment concept really came up for me a few years ago. It was probably about, I want to say 8 or 9 years ago. I hired a personal organizer, and I'm a piler. Anyone else a piler? And I'm like, and I am so entertaining. So I tell her, and I was like, I just have a pile, and I just need help with this one pile. And I don't come in and help you with one pile. I'm a package person. And I'm like, okay. So I can have 4 hours of a package. And I was like, fine, I'll find some other things for us to organize. But like, I just have a pile. And so she comes in and helps me with the pile, right? And then realized that I had all these other piles and all this other stuff, okay? And we get to my office because we have 4 hours and we're just flying through the house, right? And she gets to my bookshelf and I have this, if I were to collect something, I would say I would collect books, right? I have this giant wall and the bookshelf is like, it's so tall that I have to get on a ladder. So it's like a good solid 12 to 15 feet up because we have vaulted ceilings. And then it's like super wide, okay? And she comes in, she says, oh, that's really cute. She's like, get rid of 50%. 50%? Okay, you're evil. So then, but I'm also one of those studious people. So I'm like, you know what? I got you. I want my 2 extra stars, okay? So I get rid of 50%, okay? So I get rid of 50%, and then she comes back and she's like, good job, Teri. Do another 25%. And I'm like, you're awful. You're horrendous. You're evil. Like, seriously. Anyway, so of course I wanted the extra star, right? Because this is like our ego, right? Doing all the things. Anyhow, so I got rid of additional 25%. But I realized it created this space, right? And it was freeing. And I was like, okay, what have I outgrown? And so I always think about that when it comes to the physical stuff, because she said to me, and she said, pretend that this bookshelf is high prime real estate. And what is on there is being very intentional with what you identify as now, as who you are right now. And it just stuck with me because now it's okay, how do I clean out and clear out stuff that no longer serves us? But that attachment to the things and the memories and the books, and I am like so addicted to children's books, and I have these couple artists that I love. So I have one shelf. I love you, David Catrow. I bought all of his children's books that he's illustrated because I just obsessed. Anyway, so that's not going to go anywhere. So take your 50% and leave those alone. Anyways, but the attachment that we have to the physical stuff, right? And even like then back into my home, right? Thinking about like the things that we have. And just recently, my husband, we have a boat, and we were talking about like how we try to utilize it as much as we possibly can, but my daughter is super active. And he's, what if we just got rid of the boat? And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm half mermaid. That is sacrilege. What are you talking about? And it got me thinking again, like the amount of attachment that I have to this thing, right? And the stories and the experiences and all the things, right? And then that took me back to today. And so this last week, I had lots of people sign up to be in these seats, and then over the course of the last 48 hours, I've had people like, nope, I can't come, I canceled. And I realized how much I had put an attachment to the number of people in the seats. And I'm like, okay, interesting little stuff, right? And what story we've created. What does that mean? And I think that means that people are interested in it. They're like wanting to be there, right? And I was like, maybe it's just the people, whether it's 2 people. And I said, you know, what if it was just 2 people? Would I be okay with that? And at first I wasn't. Okay, let's be real clear. I wasn't. And so I ended up going and doing some work with myself last night. And I was like, okay, what if 2 people just showed up? What if 1 person? What if nobody showed up? And I remember back at during the pandemic, I did a free call on Tuesday mornings. And it was called Tea with Teri. But I said, I'm going to help support folks during the pandemic, because what was happening is this like incredible fear that came over. And anyways, I told them, I said, there's this old saying that says, all birds seek shelter in the storm except for the eagle. The eagle is the only bird that flies above the storm and over the storm. So I was like, you know what? I gotta find my eagles. And so I was like, I'm gonna do this call to help find my eagles, okay? And then the second one was like to help find the birds that were in the storm and bring them up to the eagle stand, right? And so I call them my eagle calls. And I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this until no one shows up. And then one day, it was probably 2.5, almost 3 years in, no one showed up. And it was the most awkward thing. But I was like, hey, Teri, so it sounds like really a great day. Yeah, how's it going? And I had a good 30 minutes. Really, I felt I'm just kidding. But it was one of those things that there's a time, a season, a reason, a time, a space, right?
Yep.
So as we talk about this, I want to bring it to all y'all about the attachments that you're experiencing, maybe the challenges that you're experiencing with it. And then we're going to give some tips and tricks at the end so that we have some ways to process through this, to really notice, release, and neutralize it. Okay, so I'll be giving some of those tips and tricks. So anything coming up?
I have a quick question for you on when you gave up those books, 50% of those books. What went through my mind is, who did you gift them to so that they were still honored and whatever for that? That's where I went to. I went, where'd you give those books to?
So I did a little process. Of course I did. So I had my stack of, I had all my little kid books that I was like, okay, who can I give this to the neighborhood? And then I had my business books, because 99.9% of the books, other books are business related books. And I then, during some of the women's networking events, I came and I actually said, hey, free books. If you want them, take them. I knew the target audience would like them, appreciate them. Some of these books are like $50 a piece. And then the rest of them I donated it to a thrift store. And then there was a few that I kept out that I knew that some people would really like. So I would send it. So there was probably like 5 or 6 books that I sent personally to people and said, don't need it back. If you like it, great. If not, donate. But yeah. But again, I think it's going to that process of, that was really hard. That was a really hard thing. Just this last weekend, I went through my closet and purged. And I used to have a 2-1 rule. And I had broken the rule. So the 2-1 rule is you buy one thing, 2 things come out. And then I started doing the 1 and 1. So 1 in, 1 out. And then I started doing the 1, which was like just 1 in, 1 in, 1 in. And I want to say it's been a solid like 2 years of the 1 in, because I was like, but I love everything. Because I go back to that joy thing, right? And I'm like, I love everything. And I'm like, Teri, you have 400,000 outfits. Like, you don't need. Anyway, so I purged this weekend. Between my daughter's room and my room, I had 8 large bags of clothing. And it was very freeing. And so when we're able to let go of the attachments that we have to it, and I'm going to personally share this story. I hope maybe you guys can relate to this. When I got hung up with giving away things, is I had this jean jacket, okay? And it had a hole in the elbow. And now you could have patched that thing, or now it's $80 plus to have a ripped
Put one on
jean.
the other side.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gave up that jean jacket. It was my favorite jean jacket of all times. And I'm like, what if I let go of other things that have that same amount of, I'm afraid of letting it go. So anyway, but now okay, just blessing and releasing, because I think we stagnate ourselves, especially with this stuff. So if I could just share one little tip, if you can let go of some physical stuff in your space, one of the things that Jack Canfield said, go around your house and take a notebook of all the things that bug you about if there's something broken, if there's something that's cluttered, the stacks, because I'm sure you only have one stack, right? But go around and just eventually check those off. But what happens energetically, things start to open up, things start to free up, and it becomes really magical of what it starts to create. So that one thing over here, that one pile, may also be impacting you financially. It may also be impacting you in your relationship. So you never really know until you start to play with it, and then it's like, oh my gosh, it becomes juicy.
I think to your point, play's key, right? To play with it, but
Yeah.
Feng Shui is amazing for this, because not only does it talk about what your wealth center is, your health center, your recreation, all that, but it does talk about, so like even everything on your wall has energy. And like, as much as I love home goods, I rarely buy stuff anymore because I have to be willing to bring that energy into my space. And very few things hit that bar now for me. Because even though I think it's some cutesy little thing that it sits on the shelter, according to the shelf, Feng Shui is, this could log jam, block, is not going to necessarily add to and allow new energy to move into my space.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, after you have a nervous breakdown, when you look at it through that lens, because you're like, oh my God, what have I been doing? And you're willing to play and let go. But it's not without emotional impact and trauma, because you get to make decision, which is good to hire a professional. But that's why I think moving's so hard. I need this junk drawer. I need this piece of paper. Who knows when this picture, I'm going to put it in an album. it is amazing, but it's so freeing. You have to just be willing to play, but then observe what happens. And it really is exciting because fun stuff starts coming out.
I started committing to myself about 2 weeks ago. Every day I'm doing one thing to get rid of stuff. So even if it's like a little end tape. The other day it was my desk. It was inside my little desk drawer. I did my junk drawer. I did my second junk drawer. I did my third just in case emergency junk drawer. I'm not kidding. But you know what I'm talking about, right? And so, but if you can play with letting go of the physical stuff is one element of that.
So it's funny, I was sitting here listening. I didn't read ahead of time. I didn't know exactly what we were discussing today. Oh, so sorry. And
because nobody else knew either.
I know. As I was absolutely meant to be here because, as Teri knows, I've gone through some major life changes, and I have just moved. And I have moved from a 5-bedroom house to a townhouse. So this is talking about attachments, and I have had a huge storage unit because I can't get rid of all this stuff. I can't. And it's now in my townhouse, but I am now going through the different boxes, and it's tough. And I never realized how attached I am to physical things because I never considered myself a materialistic person. But I'm like, oh my goodness. So now it's been forced upon me, but it's also, wow, it is so beautiful because once I start donating and I've been sending some of the stuff away, I feel like I've lost 500 pounds. I don't know, so when you started talking about this, I'm like, yes, I was meant to be here. We're talking about attachments. Fantastic.
And then I was like, why am I getting all so bent out of shape about the numbers? And I was like, because I would be okay if it was just me. That would be awkward. But I had to do some energetic clearing for myself to get to that place. And I'm like, okay, yes. Anyways. Anything else?
One of the things that is coming up for me is in the last year, I've lost more than 50 pounds. And I hung on to all of my clothes for a very long time until... Just in case, because you never know, because I had always had the mindset, because I hadn't found what worked for me, and it would come back. And in the January time frame, no, actually it was around my birthday, so it was April, I went through and gave and donated to Goodwill tons of stuff. And so that only what hangs in my closet are the things that I love and fit. Do I still have some extra large great t-shirts that are wonderful for roaming around on the weekends? Of course.
Yes.
But all of those clothes I was hiding in are gone. And I realized that what happened is the second they left the house in the car with my husband, I was like, okay, that person left too. What was left of her hiding in the background was walking out the door as well. And it was very freeing to be able to do that and say, okay, well, that's good. I don't need those anymore. I don't have to hide in that.
I love it. That's beautiful. And that's a great word, hiding. How are we hiding from the clothing or the whatever that is that we are hiding from, or because we are afraid of what that conversation might be or what that experience might be or the circumstance or the situation. And as soon as we're like, okay, if I just allow it to, and just like almost like bless and release it, it no longer holds power over me, but that's no longer steering me in certain directions that I am trying to do a workaround on trying to make it happen or trying to make it work. So we're going to take a quick break.
Friends don't let friends shop for health insurance alone, especially online with a bottle of wine. Skip the spammy calls, endless emails, confusing options. We've got you covered, literally. I'm Deb Salmons with Imagine Choice Customized Health Solutions. No more guesswork. We shop for best plans for you with lower rates the healthier you are. We personalize your plans with confidential information, and it's hassle-free. Let us take the stress off your plate so you can focus on what matters most. Imagine Choice Health Insurance with a human touch.
And we were just talking about what's coming up for people that are, that we have attachments to currently, whether it's the physical stuff, emotions, relationships, all the things. And so someone in the back said that Allie, you had something that's coming up for you.
Yeah, my oldest started kindergarten and my youngest started daycare for the first time ever, and we've never had an empty house, and we are buried in toys. And I've always thought as soon as they're gone, it'll be so easy. I can just sweep through and toss everything. And instead I find myself like in a pile of old toys crying on the floor. So I'm the one attached to the toys, not my daughters who don't care about them at all. So I just have to close my eyes and scoop them into a bag. Because
You know what? I will say that I
they've
can
outgrown
relate to
them.
this. So my husband and I thought we were always going to have 2 kids. And so I kept all of the baby stuff. And so so our daughter is now 15 as the date of this recording. When she turned 9, this is the funniest thing. I feel like we forgot to have a second child because we're like, this is easy. And, it takes 9 months to get pregnant and da-da. And then it's, and she's now 7. And then we started trying and we couldn't get pregnant. And then I was like, now she's 8 and then she's 9. And then my husband went down one day to the basement to clear out stuff. All the baby stuff came out. I melted down. I was such a hot mess. I'm in the stairs crying. And he's, what? We're not using it. And so I made him put it back. Because there was this attachment to, what if we adopt? And what if we do this? And if we adopted, it probably wasn't going to be. But the stories that we create, so I totally get it. And then when it was my time, it was probably 6 or 7, maybe 8 months later, I then went down and I said, we're whole and complete with our family. And so I was able to get rid of it. But you're right, that emotional attachment that we have to that. What's coming up for you?
For me? About those things or about other things?
At this point, any of them. But yeah, especially for those things.
For those things, I'm just excited that they're happy in their new phase. They both love school, so it's a lot easier to just go through and make the house feel less burdened and clear out some space for us. We've also moved 3 times in the last 4 years, and we just have boxes of stuff we have not addressed. And I keep telling myself I'm going to go unpack that box that I'm sure has my high school creative writing award in it and other random junk that I don't need and no one will be impressed by.
Let's
trying to tackle
Is
that
there anyone
someday.
that has current attachments to physical stuff right this moment? And anyone that's joining in online, feel free to reach out and say, what your physical attachment is. Let's just do a real quick clearing if you want. Do you want to come up and play? So for those that have been following us, I like to incorporate lots of different types of energy clearing. And so we'll do this. Come up here and come join us. She's like, beep. We'll just beep that out. That's me saying it. I know, I don't either. No. Okay, so I usually say it's the Shirley Show. Okay, so let's do this real quick. So what do you feel like is the resistance to saying goodbye to this attachment?
Then I'm officially done having children. We're officially done having children. 2 is enough. But accepting that they're no longer babies and they're toddlers, and the other one is 5 going on 30.
Can you incorporate them to say what stays and what goes and create a 3 pile thing?
I wish I could.
Oh, because they all
are
are so excited.
Yeah. They all stay.
Okay.
But it's more just anything that's brought us joy recently stays, and anything that I didn't know we have has to go immediately. Just letting go of weight that just bogs us down and fills our space.
When I was a therapist, one of the things that we would do, especially when people had passed away, one of the things that we would do, especially if there was attachments to things in the home, but they didn't want to keep them because no one wants this antique thing, and somebody else can appreciate it more than the modernized kids or whatever it is, right? And so they would take a picture of it and then they would put it in a photo book or whatever, and it just became like these fun things. And so you can absolutely do that too, just if you can. Because there's memories to it, and so you can always put it in a photo book, right? And be like, oh my gosh, Mr. Slinky.
R.I.P. You were fun. I'm glad you're gone.
Okay, so I want you to close your eyes for a second. I want you to tap into the feeling of letting go of that attachment. What comes up for you?
I think just a lot more space to build like a new memory.
But what's the resistance that comes up that keeps you, the attachment that you have right now? So right now, I don't want to get rid of them.
I think it's a little bit of fear and a little bit sad.
Okay.
I can't accept that they're as big as they are.
Yeah. So that's true for any parts of our lives when we've outgrown things, people, situations. But let's stick with the physical stuff right now. So I want you and everyone here today with us, think about there's anything that you're like you're ready to release, but you're like, oh, I'm just keeping it on just for one more season or one more event or one more thing or one more, just because. And I want you to just to think about what that is for you, what's coming up with you. And please feel free to play along with us in doing this. And then for everyone who's joining online, same thing, okay? Just substitute the words that make sense for you and you can still have benefit to this, okay? So I want you to tap this right here. And this is part of emotional freedom technique. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing, so we're going to look silly together. Just follow me, and so I'm going to say. So repeat after me.
Even though
I have all this attachment
I have all this attachment
to all these toys,
and
I don't want to get rid of them
I don't want to get rid of them.
because I've had so many fun memories.
I've had so many fun memories.
And
the hard reality
is that I'm not going to have another child
is that I'm not going to have another child
to experience these toys.
to experience these toys.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love and accept myself.
love and accept myself.
What's coming up for you right now?
A little bit of sad.
Okay, so all this sadness. So repeat after me. All this sadness.
All the sadness and fear of letting go and releasing this.
So I want you to tap on the back of the hand right here. Then I want you to say, so I'm going to say this part. All the places and spaces that you have tied attachments, energetic connections to these objects, are you willing to revoke, recant, destroy, and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Take a breath in. And out, right and wrong, good and bad, pocket white shorts, boys and bands. And here's the reality. So go ahead and tap at the top of the head, which is so funny. I choose to know
I choose to know
that I can be safe in the eyebrows right here
that I can be safe
and inside the eyes
in releasing
and letting go.
and letting go.
I've outgrown
I've outgrown
all this stuff.
all the stuff.
And my kids have outgrown this.
And my kids have definitely outgrown this.
But I'm in denial.
But I'm in denial.
And I want them to be in denial.
And I want them
So
to
that they can be in denial, and that I'm in denial, so that we can keep the stuff.
So we can keep it all forever.
And that sounds like amazing. Okay. But what if I can create something even more expansive with these toys?
I can create something even more expansive with these toys.
By having a drive or being able to donate or being able to find a child in need or all the other options that I can help support other kids that maybe have not had this blessing in their lives to have these toys. So what if these toys, just like Toy Story, like that, what if these toys, I'm sorry, at the side of the armpit, like 4 inches down below, right there, okay, either one or two, I choose to know
I choose to know
that I can be safe.
that I can be safe in releasing.
What would you like to do with these toys?
I would like them to
And then
find,
right here, sorry, at the nail bed of the thumb, okay,
I'd love them to find a new home with people who couldn't otherwise get to them or
yay. How does
Someone
that
who needs
feel
them.
to be able to like gift these away? And then right here, right there. Yep. And then at the first. So I remember, oh my gosh, this just reminds me of something. Years ago when I was a play therapist, I wanted these certain rugs and I couldn't find them and I found them on, I don't know what it was. It was we can stop tapping for a second. It was some app they were giving away for $5, whatever. And I was like, sweet, I'm gonna go get these rugs. And they were these specific rugs for the playrooms. And I get there and the kid goes, what are you doing with this? And I said, and he was like probably 9 years old. And he goes, I said, we're using these rugs for the playroom because we see children and adolescents and adults have experienced trauma. Like, what kind of trauma? And I was like sexual abuse and physical abuse and witnessing domestic violence and homicides and all the fun things. And I said, just really heavy stuff for kids. And he's, oh my gosh, I'll be right back. It makes me so sad. The joy, like, he runs upstairs and he asks his mom, and can I go give them my bears? He goes and grabs the big, gigantic bear that's like this big. And he lugs it all down. He says, Mom, can I give her this bear? Because I don't want it anymore, but I know that if we are around other kids that will love it even more. I don't know why this makes me all teary-eyed. Sorry. Anyways, then he grabs another bear, and here's a big snake, and here's this, and here's that. And his mom says, we've been trying to get rid of this forever. And he couldn't, but he heard our story, and I will tell you, that bear, I'm telling you, filled our space for decades. And it had brain surgery, it survived, it had ankle surgery, it survived. It went through a cleansing process, AKA the large laundry room, washing machine, all the things. And it survived, and it blessed so many kids' lives. People have selfies, it's just amazing, right? So when we give When we bless and release something, I'm going to trust that the next owner is ready to receive it. And it's going to be even more profound. And when we finally gifted away the bear into the next home, I just knew like it was going to be taken care of. And the woman that took it, she was a single mom and she was hard times. And she's, my kids are just going to love this bear. I want you to think about what you can do with it, how expansive it can be. So anything that we're leaving, it's not just leaving in our physical space, but we're allowing it to be transformative to somebody else, okay? Yeah. So let's do this. What comes up for you? Anything else that's coming up for you?
It feels very full circle because our daughter, our oldest, was born in lockdown in Seattle. And we had just angels of friends and family who couldn't get to us that sent us Amazon everything to get us started. So we, that year, when Maya turned 1, or she was 8 months old at Christmas, and we did a angel gift registry for a mom in need in Western Washington and donated like 16,000 diapers and wipes and all these to various families. But I just remember a little teeny daughter of ours giving those things away, and now she gets to do it again. So just helping stuff find new life.
And I think if you can have the girls be a part of this, because we're teaching them it also, like, hey, we can go and donate this to another family and having them experience so that they also know that this is a part of the cycle.
Yeah.
And we can be allowing in for more space or more creativity or more whatever it is. Maybe it's like you don't feel that, maybe it's just a simpler place, right?
Yeah.
So all the places that's not allowing you just to tap in, tune in, and turn on that infinite knowing and infinite awareness that you have that says, you know what, we can be at peace with this. I can bless and release with ease. And this can be even more expansive for my family, my kids, my husband, our community, and allow this to be really a blessing for all.
Yeah.
So anywhere that's not allowed now, are you willing to revoke the candy store? Yes?
Yes.
Take a breath in and out, right and wrong, good and bad, pocket pot, on shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, go back and close your eyes and just go back into that feeling that you're at right now. Where do you feel right now?
I feel ready to let go of those things.
Okay.
I know they're holding us back, and I know they're just causing visual chaos. So they're ready to go.
Will you send me a picture of releasing
the
this?
before and after, yes.
Yes, I would love that. Would you?
Yes.
Okay, I love it. Okay, yay. Let's give her a hand. So I want you to apply that to any of your places and spaces that you might be feeling stuck to some sort of physical place. And what can I do and offer it to release it, bless it, and create space for either something new or the void of it. Therapist, spiritual guide, business coach. My unique methods blend mindset, energy, and business mastery for deep, lasting change. Ready to become unstoppable? Learn more at talkingwithteri.com. I was talking about, last night I was doing this mindset training for my daughter's varsity girls softball team. And I was like, I was teaching them how to grow their hands. You've probably seen this before. You can take your hands like this. There's little lines on your wrist. And then you just want to imagine like you're a surgeon and you're just going to connect those two together. And then you bring your hands up. And for most people, one hand is shorter than the other. There's a few that might be the same, but for the most part, they're usually one is shorter than the other. Okay, so you take the shorter one, okay? For the ones that have shorter ones, take your shorter horn. The ones that have their same, just pick one, okay? And then you're gonna say, grow, we're gonna do it 8 times. And we're gonna go grow longer, 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 grow longer. Now go ahead and do the exact same thing.
Yeah, they're the same.
Now mine's longer.
Right? And now mine's equal because mine was shorter, right? Now we're going to go back to normal, okay? So you look at it and then say, go back to normal, 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 go back to normal. I know, right? And so I was like, so when the girls told me, she's like, well, if you can do that, can you do that with other things? And Jack Canfield used to say, men, we can't do that to like their body parts, right? And then I was like, why can't we? And so I was like, I'm going to experiment this. I'm like, we're going to go shrink that stomach. What if we start shrinking that stomach? So I was like, I think I'm going to start shrinking my stomach. My pooch.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it.
We're gonna ask you how you lost 50 pounds. Yeah.
She was shrinking it, growing her hand, shrinking her pooch.
Exactly. There you go. Right.
Is there anyone else that wants to come up and play? Anything that you have attachments to? Think about circumstances, situations, relationships, or anything else that's coming up. Oh, go ahead, Deborah.
But when you did that experiment with her,
Oh, yeah.
when you did that experiment, we just did it out. I realized that I have a basement under the house, this crawl space under the house, that I have saved baby clothes from my daughters because they were for my granddaughters, hopefully having. And I have 2 daughters who are now in their 40s who are never going to have grandkids. And I realized that. And I went, okay, I'm fine with it. But I realized I haven't gotten rid of the clothes or the toys that I saved. Yeah. I saved the best of the best toys so that when they got older, they could have these. Yeah. And I went, wow, we just did that exercise. And I go, I can go down there and say, these are going to go. But what I loved is when you said, take a picture. Because I'd love to open the box because my grandmother saved clothes for my mother. My mother saved clothes for me. I saved clothes. So I was passing it down generations. And now I could just put it in a picture and say, girls, what, you missed out not having kids. No, just kidding. Yeah. Just kidding. But it's just releasing that. And I really appreciate that. So thank you.
And when you clear that space, the physical space, but the attachments to that, it opens up such major things.
Yeah.
And even just like any attachments that we have to people or places or things or situations, I went through this like huge transformation and I realized that I was like letting go of my old version of myself. And what did that mean? Because it was like schlepping off. So I think a lot of people right now are going through these huge transformational times, and who they were even a year ago is so different than who they are today. And just blessing and releasing and allowing that space to create something new. And I think the stories that we've built, we were talking about, who was I talking about when we first walked in today? And we were talking about this story, the attachments that we have to the stories that we're creating. Who was that?
It might have been what we were talking about because I said the commercial that we did. And
yes, that's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah, say more about that.
Okay, I said, I see myself and I go, oh, that's so not what I want people to see. I want them to see this version of me. And I go, wait, is that a true version of you or is that just in your head? So I have to go through that process and go release and let go.
So I want to unpack this. Come up here for a second. So let's unpack this because when you say, hey, I see this video and it's doing really well, and you are now saying, oh, I don't like that. I am whatever the story. What's the story?
Yeah, want it to be different. Yeah.
Because of what?
Because of, say, the way the outfit fit or showed up on video or who I was speaking or something just wasn't who I think I am.
So you're negatively
Yes.
impacting and you're basically shutting down that possibility of receiving, whether that's business through that, whether that's opportunities, being seen. Literally, you're being seen by something that we created together, and you're making it bad and wrong. Instead, if we can just be like, okay, I can receive that.
It is what it is.
Right? And a lot of times it's just because we have created this story about who we are, or who we're being, or whatever that is. And this is how I tell people to watch videos, okay? You guys ready for it? It's like mind-boggling, profound, okay? So when you're watching a video back, because I think a lot of people have a hard time seeing themselves on video, myself included, 1,000%, okay?
Good. Not just me.
You have no idea. You have no idea, okay? And so the very first time when I was watching myself on video, I had to do this. And then I would do this. And then I would do this. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. What was I thinking? It's not that bad.
No. Yes.
And so when you start to play with that, and we were talking the other day about the resistance that we have to things, right? But when we have this attachment to something that it's not in alignment with us, we're pushing energetically it away. And so the more that we can receive it, so next week we're going to be talking about money, and we're going to be talking about how to receive more money in an energetic place, right? But when we are putting this boundary up, it blocks the energy.
It's good to know.
from that. So I'm going to invite you to go find the things that you do like about that video,
Okay.
the things that you do say,
Right.
because you came off intelligent, so eloquent,
Good. Thank you.
fun, lovely human being that you are.
Thank you. That's where I go to. I go, okay, this isn't all that bad. But I do look for confirmation. When I have
Yeah.
somebody watch it, I go, how was that? And they go, oh, it was great. And I'm like, oh, sure.
But I want you to just receive that, okay? So
Yeah.
again, just receiving it and just saying, thank you, I'll take more of that, thank you. So let's just do this, because when we create these stories about our business, something that we don't like or that we do, we actually are pushing it away. So if we're saying, oh, I don't like the way, give me some more examples here.
I think as women, let me run to the bathroom and I'll be right back onto the Zoom. Or I was just trying to, like the word just.
Yes.
I was trying to, or just asking. It's culcated in us culturally. You have to be aware of it. A lot of it's NLP vocabulary. And then you
Yeah.
don't realize, but with every word, you're casting that vision.
Yes.
Not a spell, but a vision. So if you start to become aware of the words, it's so fun when you catch yourself, because then different things show up in your life.
Yes.
Really
And
exciting.
Yeah, it is like casting spells, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's interesting. A few years ago, I can't exactly remember how many, I committed to myself that I was going to stop apologizing.
Yes.
Oh,
Because
Yes.
as women, we apologize far
All the
too
time.
frequently.
Yes.
Yes.
And I would reserve the words, I'm so sorry, when I was expressing that for someone's loss, something that had happened to them.
Yeah.
And it was a loss. And then it graduated to I stopped actually apologizing and say, I apologize. And it freed me so much from not doing that. So if I'm running late to a meeting, I simply say, thank you so much for waiting for me.
Yeah.
I don't
It just
apologize
shifts, it shifts
because
the energy of that.
it was a thing. And it shifts the energy away from taking blame for things
Yes.
and assigning it to yourself.
Exactly. That's a whole other episode, girlfriend.
There we go.
I
we
say
go.
to myself, I showed up at the perfect time.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that I'm not late. I'm just
Yes.
at the perfect time.
So
So that
when we free that attachment, and so we can come to this place of neutrality. Neutrality is the best place energetically to go from, and so then we move freely with choice, and we're not being restricted and pulled back from. So if you you guys have all pins in your seats, and just take that and just squeeze the pin as hard as you can. That's like having that attachment to something. I don't know about you, but my nails are clawing into me. It's painful, right? Like it is, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of hard work to keep that intact. But when I leave it and I just allow it with open palms, it's way more expansive. It's way more freeing when I don't have to have that attachment to it. And it's okay, I now have this neutrality to it. And I don't have to judge it. Is it right or is it wrong? Or is it just there, right? It is what it is, right? So let's do this real quick, because I think sometimes we do have these judgments of our stories and judgments of other things. So I want you to do this real quick. So what comes up for you from not allowing you just to see yourself in this phase of your life that you're in?
when you say not to see myself, I feel like I do see myself. It's just not the image that I think of myself.
Okay.
Is that makes sense?
That makes sense.
Okay.
So you're seeing yourself as like inside. I have this inability to know that I'm a short person. Like I'm really a short person. Like people tell me like I'm
I love
really
it.
5'2".
You identify?
But I identify as 5'6", sometimes 5'7". And I'm like, oh, like I'm short? It's like a news flash. And people are like, how do you not know this? And I'm like,
I don't
and so
identify.
I totally get this disconnect because I'm like, I'm not a short person. Like I'm not.
5'2", who's that?
I feel like I have tons of energy. Like I'm this huge person. But so I totally get that. So that there is not congruent.
Right. And I can go back and look at it later and see it for what it is and go, okay, that's what we did and that's what it is. But it seemed like in the moment when I first saw it, I was like going, oh my gosh, it should be something better, should be something different, should be show
So you're
up.
shooting yourself, right?
Shoulda,
Yeah.
coulda, coulda.
So what if we were to allow us to disconnect
Yep.
and bless and release the attachment that we have to that story? It's a great story. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, you've created it, you've mastered it, you're like, but it's not serving you anymore. Like it stopped serving you at some point, and now it's probably holding you back by buying that story that, you know what, I'm a fabulous woman as who I am right now in this state, in this presence.
And it's so funny because I came to you when we were signing the thing on the outside, and I said, let's redo that. And you're like, what?
It's so good. You guys are going to check it out now, okay? So now you guys are piquing your curiosity. Look at that. So all the places and spaces that you're not allowing yourself just to be seen as this brilliant, powerful, incredible woman that you are.
Thank you. Yes.
Anywhere that's not allowing you just to step into that and release all the attachments that you have to the old story of that old version of yourself that's not serving you in this place and space, that's not allowing you to receive, that's not allowing you to fully receive all the compliments and all the kudos and the accolades of who you are, who you're being in this presence of, and this alignment of this person who you are now.
Okay. I'm releasing that?
Yes.
Okay. Because what you just said cracked me up because I didn't think of it as stopping it. I didn't think of it as it's pushing it aside or pushing it back. So that's great knowledge.
Yeah.
So thank
So
you.
when we create that neutrality, it's okay. I can see myself as this person on this video and how I look on this video and how I sound on this video. And I know that's a vision of myself, right?
And that's a good way to say it. Just a version of myself.
It's just a version of myself, right?
Yeah.
But giving yourself kudos and credit.
Yeah.
Because you're way harsher on yourself than you need to be.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot of
myself
us that are a lot harsher on ourselves than we need to be. So all the places and spaces that is, are you willing to revoke, recant, destroy, and uncurl that
Yes.
within? And now, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, only shorts, boys and beyonds, I want you to tap right here and just say, I choose to release this now.
I choose to release this now.
Any of the places that you have not allowed yourself to transform, transmute this attachments to this story, are you willing to revoke, recant, destroy, and anchor that?
Yes.
Right or wrong, good and bad? Yes. Right or wrong, good and bad, pocket bottle, night shorts, boys and beyonds. This is
100%.
This is Teri After Dark now. Yes.
Yes. We're ready.
Okay, so close your eyes for a second. And I want you, for your homework, I want you to go back to watch that video.
Okay.
And I want you to reach out to me and let me know. Let's have a conversation to how that transforms that, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Okay, I love it. Okay.
Love you too.
Love it. Okay. All right. We want to do this real quick. I'll let you transition. I want to make sure that we are going home with some tips and tools here to play with, but I want you to think about 3 things: notice, release, and neutralize. So noticing it, what am I holding on, gripping on? What am I death gripping onto? How is it serving me? Just notice those things that I have this like visual to whatever it is. Maybe it's that staff member that you know that you should have fired 4 weeks ago and you still haven't done that. Maybe it's that situation where you're like creating a story about it. Maybe whatever that might be that you are creating these attachments to it, is noticing those pieces of it. And then the second one is to release it, letting it go. And there's lots of different ways that you can release it. One of the things that I like to do is just being really intentional. But here's the thing is, when you're really intentional with releasing it, you've got to bless and release, right? And so sometimes I actually physically do that. And whether I sometimes would like to, especially when I am attached to an outcome of something, I create that attachment to that, and that's like, I've got to let go of it. And so one of the things that I like to do is I like to light a candle and say, okay, I know that I've been attached to this. I'm letting go of the outcome of this. It is no longer mine to carry. It is no longer my responsibility. I blow out the candle and it's gone. And I was like, okay, universe, God, spirit, angels, whatever you believe in, it is now yours. Show me how it shows up for me. It is done, it is done, it is done. And I'm just going to be surprised and delighted for however it returns, however I receive it. And then again, creating that neutrality to it, because then I bless and release it. There's some fun techniques there's this author that I really love. Her name is Tosha Silver. And she talks about taking a coconut and then putting all your intentions of whatever that you're wanting to release into the coconut and then breaking the coconut. Now, you cannot drink the milk of the coconut, okay? Because it's like, you're releasing it, okay? It's like, it's going to the garbage. So don't do that. But there's lots of ways. I went to this one time, and there was a company, I forget the name of it, but it was like breaking plates. Like you literally went and you wrote down things and threw plates in this back of this. So finding some way to physically release it, we did flash paper one day in here, so you can do flash paper, but whatever it is, just letting it be released, and it's no longer yours to carry and no longer yours to attach to. So creating that neutrality. And then the last one is to create that neutrality. And that's really, I like to say, I bless and release. I offer this to divine love. If you have a spiritual practice, you can offer it to God, spirit, angels, whatever your spiritual practice is. But just, I offer this with love. This is no longer mine. And that will create that neutrality. It creates the space. And then you get to be like that 4-year-old kid that's, ooh, I wonder. And I like to say, I wonder blank. I wonder what would be like for me to receive blank. I wonder what it would be like for me to create this. I wonder what it would be like for me to, and then you become like this childlike entity of being experiential of your space and your place. And now I get to play with the evidence that's coming forth, right? And it just becomes really a powerful place to be in. So I'm going to invite you to play with that. With that being said, if you live in Colorado or you're traveling to Colorado and love to be part of our in-studio audience, please reach out. Let's grab you some tickets so that you can be here with us live. And for all of you, as always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love, and we'll see you on the next episode. Woo! We're out.